Hello, my name is Haley. Ever since I was little, I always knew I had a passion for art. After several hardships and family difficulties, I discovered art to be a coping mechanism, which later turned into my refuge during the hard times. Through this personal exploration, I discovered that I wanted to make art my career. This is my art, and this is my story. I turned 18 earlier this year, but I've been an adult for a long time. As far as experiences I've come across throughout my childhood, my experiences with my overworked mother and my extremely ill father have resulted in a lot of unusual responsibilities a kid might have. Growing up, family was always a confusing subject for me. I was adopted at age 6 by a family who had originally adopted my biological mother. I lived with my grandparents, and my biological mother visited when she was stable enough to do as such. Growing up with a severely sick father dying from multi-organ failure resulted in him being in a lot of discomfort and feeling miserable 24/7. He turned into a very grumpy man. I have very few memories of my father when he was well and happy, but seeing the commitment my mom put in towards their marriage and how she never failed to stand by his side or mine, it was really memorable. After years of this ongoing battle, I feel as though it has changed my life by influencing me to be as driven and committed as I am to my future, just as my mother was to us and I was to my father. Growing up with all these responsibilities and fewer chances to be a carefree kid, I really looked forward to my private art classes on Tuesday nights. I had always loved art, but taking these classes starting at age 5 made me become a million times more passionate for the subject. Taking art classes with an amazingly inspiring teacher at the local art gallery in town definitely influenced me to want to pursue art as a major. My teacher taught me a lot of really good techniques when painting, drawing, sculpting, and more. I decided I wanted to get others' opinions on my work, so I submitted 2 paintings I had made to the local county fair. Both pieces were winners, one being first place and the other being second. Throughout the years to come, I entered more pieces and got more awards. I loved being at the gallery and always tried to be there whenever I could. My teacher ended up becoming a close family friend of mine and my mother. She did a lot for me, encouraging me to never give up on my art and by mentoring me in my art career. Seeing as how others enjoyed my art as much as they did influenced me to take my teacher's offer up on allowing me to sell cards with my art on the cover in her gallery. All the cards I had made had different artworks on the front, each of them holding a different story. Every first weekend of the month in our little town, we had a market day. I was always at my teacher's gallery with my own Meet the Artist stand where I signed cards for people and told strangers about the stories behind my pieces. My best seller was a card with the painting of a frog on the cover I made when I was 6. My father died when I was 11, and my mother moved us to Michigan to be closer to my family. Now, I still take as many art classes as I can in school, although I do miss my old instructor. In middle school, I began to become really close to the next-door neighbor, Carol. Carol was a professional photographer, and she was the one to really introduce me to the graphic arts, which is also when I began to think about my future, and I stepped away from the hopes of being a great fine artist, and rather I hoped to become a great digital artist. In high school, I was introduced to my first trade school called Oakland School's Technical Campus. OSTC has been an amazing experience for me, where I have learned so much about various forms of digital artwork. I have learned to work in a design group setting as well as doing it solo. Trying out all the different styles and forms of digital art, I have learned what I like and what I don't. I still have a lot to learn, but from what I've learned already, I have decided I would love to become a graphic designer, or more specifically, a book illustrator. One day, I would potentially like to own my own graphic design business. Ultimately, I believe dealing with these experiences I've come across have led me to where I am now, and although I still have lots of work left to accomplish, I believe I've made good headway. I'm excited to see what comes later in life.